Hi, I'm Ricky, and I'm reaching out to the public. I feel like I need help. I have no idea why the things that are happening in the court system in Massachusetts are happening. I have a case against an ex-girlfriend of mine for an alleged assault. This happened over 2.5 years ago, and the Worcester County District Attorney's Office has been putting it off and trying to put it off as much as they can. They're hoping that I would attack my ex's character, make her out to be a liar, and they've handed me like a ton of evidence, like on a silver platter, to make her look this way. And that's simply just not. It's not that simple. I can't just say that she's a liar. That's the things that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts did to my ex and her son, Stefan, are horrible and unimaginable. It's absolutely disgusting. And then for them to use this court case and try to get me to attack her, and that was the only way they were going to allow me to go to trial. I have a long laundry list of evidence against the Commonwealth. They have a history with me of tampering with evidence, altering evidence, covering up crimes for whatever reason. This goes back to when my friend Tammy died in 1994. The Springfield police did absolutely nothing to help. It was a complete disaster. She was found months later after she went missing, right on the side of a road that thousands of people have driven by, and nobody knew anything. And from all accounts, her body was just grabbed and thrown into a trunk and then haphazardly checked. No one knows what really happened to her. The medical examiner that did the exam on her just left it as unknown. Like, how does a 15-year-old girl just die on the side of the road and nobody is going to bother checking? They grabbed me from school illegally. For whatever reason, my parents told them, no, you can't grab me. They're going to bring me down there. But then they yanked me out of school, shoving pictures in my face, trying to intimidate me. Then they got me to try to change the story, saying that she came and knocked on my window one night, when she never did that. For whatever reason, if they were just trying to see if I would tell them some extra information, or if they were trying to cover their own butts and say, oh, look, she really did go over to this kid's house. See, we weren't over there. Who knows? Then years later, 1999, an ex-girlfriend of mine assaults her own son because she's mad at me, and then tries to accuse me of it. And then a couple of years later, she admits to it through an instant message. I have it on VHS tape still because I had to take a video of this computer screen because the technology was different back then. I reported it to the Springfield police. I showed the Hampden County District Attorney's Office this video, and they did nothing with it. And I have a son with this ex, and they said that I couldn't get custody of the son because he had some health issues that she had to deal with. So she was just allowed to abuse this kid because she was mad at me and got away with it scot-free. And I still have this evidence because I posted it online. And then years later, 2013, I get hit by a car when I'm walking through a parking lot. I was sick at the time. I thought it was a big misunderstanding. Lo and behold, the girl doesn't have car insurance. And I'm like a broken record with this. I've told everybody. And it's all these videos, even in that police station video from West Warren when I was arrested. The first thing that pops up audio-wise is me talking about getting hit by that car. And police knew she had no car insurance. They knew that she had a suspended registration and she was driving with a rejection sticker for safety. And they still let her drive away after that. And it's like, I was sick at the time, and it boggles my mind how this stuff is allowed and it just gets covered up. But they said I assaulted the vehicle. So that was their explanation as to why it was allowed to be covered up, because I attacked the car because it was on my foot, banging on it because I was scared. Like, oh, it makes me the monster. So, okay. So then I have my trial. You lie about sending my jury home. You alter my statement that I had notarized. And then I'm found guilty. Okay, it was my mistake for going to trial without a jury and without a lawyer. But you did talk me out of the lawyer and told me I'd have to sit around all day. And I was sick at the time, and you knew that I just wasn't taking this as serious as you guys were, because you guys had something to cover up. But then after my trial, weeks later, you guys created a fake receipt. Come on, and raised the price. And Judge Hadley knew about it? Like, what a dirtbag. And the only reason I found out was because I had the big mouth and said, oh, look, ADA Captain Johnson told me that you didn't allow this information. And the judge has like, oh, then what if someone even paid for the receipt? Like, dude, you guys are just like little kids telling your lies back and forth, giving each other's information away. And then Randy Milo knew this too. You guys are buddies with him. He did my appeal. Janet Eli in the probation office, she knew all about this. Like, you guys almost got me thrown in jail, but then you didn't send in the right paperwork. You didn't mail it to me. As always, you guys, it's always some paperwork never getting mailed to people. But then you, Judge Hadley and Janet Eli, had that backroom conversation saying you couldn't read the paper about Kashana not having car insurance because the ADA wasn't there. Of course you weren't going to read it. You're never going to read it. And then, oh man, Judge Hadley, Jesus, you knew that information was deleted off that police report. Come on, man. How many thousands of them have you seen? You're going to lie right to my face. And I got the transcript now. I'm like, this is ridiculous. No one's going to believe that all of a sudden you just, well, I forgot, that information. Geez, yeah, I guess it should have been there. How confusing. Man, and then when I run my mouth down at the courthouse, telling everybody all this information I found and how I found this receipt and how you tampered with my statement that I had notarized and cut off the section that showed that her address was that Fuller Street Chicopee address, but she really lived 5 houses for me in Springfield. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And then you guys sent that forged court document to me. What was that about? It drove me totally nuts. And ADA Catherine Johnston's the one that found it. Oh, I found this forged court document that Mr. Stebbins supposedly did. And it drove me nuts because I had the other information that you guys had tampered with. And then I ended up trying to kill myself because of all the psych meds. I thought I was going through some kind of issues, but it was my hyperthyroidism. And then taking the psych meds made that 10 times worse. So trying to kill myself 3 times. And then less than 2 weeks after me trying to kill myself the 3rd time, you had that guy come put a gun to my head right outside Elaine Prinsky's office in Northampton. And he took the paperwork that I had, which is funny because the only thing in that paperwork I think I haven't been able to replace is a police report that I got from my friend Joe Bunaconti. He got in a car accident and his police report reflected that the person was driving illegally. So when you go check that, his report is correct and mine is incorrect. But I ended up pleading guilty because Elaine said there was nothing she could do to help me and that she was worried about her safety and her family's safety and her knee. So, I mean, I guess it was better than dying. I pled guilty, had probation once a month and had to pay like a $700 fine. So it was a big slap in the face. And I did go to therapy and I told the therapist that you guys had assigned me to at first all about this. I told the probation people in Springfield right after I pled guilty with that stupid, I don't remember doing it, but I must have because I wanted the information because the police had denied me medical attention. But I didn't need it because I already knew. I just had to wait to get it. Why the hell would I forge something? But you guys did that, bunch of scumbags. And now, here, years later again, you're pulling the same thing with Beth and her son. You're trying to cover up all the abuse going on all these Massachusetts group homes, which is absolutely terrible. The Massachusetts State Police is supposed to work with the DPPC to investigate these and go over every single report. And every single report I filed on her son's behalf has been tampered with, altered to delete information about how severe this abuse has been and how these employees act in these houses because it's disgusting. And man, you stuck her son in a psych ward 2 hours away when there was plenty of places around here he could have went. But you purposely stuck him 2 hours away to create such a hardship on her. You were hoping that she would lose interest in helping him. And then you guys filed some report saying that she abandoned him there, trying to put pressure on her to take him home or to stick him in some place far away that she can't go and monitor, which is absolutely freaking horrible, which is standard practice for Massachusetts. Absolutely terrible. I can't imagine what would have happened if I didn't help her. And then you guys centered them, Jesus, where was that place? It doesn't even matter. The next group home, everybody lied to me. This guy, Rich Mancini, shook my hand and gave me his word they were going to make home visits happen. And the only home visit this poor kid ever had was because of me. You guys tried to drug him up all the time, and I proved that he didn't need drugs. And it was just the way that you were treating him was why he was acting the way he was acting. I'm like, this is absolutely terrible. Before I had met him, you had allowed him to be abused in a different group home. And that group home tried to cover it up and put Beth through a nightmare in her family. Like, it was an absolute nightmare. That's probably why her family separated, because of all this abuse. And then, being the sweetheart she took her son home, trying to help him after that, and she couldn't. And you punished her by sending him 2 hours away. And then the next group home, the best option was 2 hours away. Even though I'd mentioned places I had worked at in the Springfield area, and then people seemed confused. They didn't know what I was talking about. They didn't know these places existed, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys are supposed to work together. It's supposed to be a team, and it's not. Like, it's absolutely terrible. Like, and the staff at these places never followed through on anything you guys said was supposed to happen. Like, the best thing you guys ever said you did was taught him the thumbs up, which is absolutely disgusting. I mean, this kid could do internet searches. He could communicate with a certain device that he had. His mother, Beth, put I don't know how many hours into trying to help him communicate because he has autism. And you guys did everything you could do to unravel that. And I witnessed it. And then the employees that did try to help us, you had them fired or transferred. Like, it's absolutely terrible. And then the excuses you would give for not being able to transfer them out of houses when this abuse happened is mind-numbing. These people that work for the state would tell us that companies like KDC and Venture own the homes, so that if somebody gets abused in them, they can't move them yet. They have to send them to another home owned by another company. But then if you look and see who owns these homes, it seems to be some company out of Connecticut. So is this some kind of real estate scam? Because the home that they moved him to in Uxbridge was like a $600,000 house. But there was only 2 kids living there. And one of them was punching holes in the wall, and they weren't telling anybody about it. You just show up and surprise, like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Are people getting hurt? And they're like, there'd be trash all over the lawn. These places are just, it was disgusting. And then the bruises he would have, constant bruises. They're locking kids in closets. Like, man, it's mind-numbing. Like, there's so much stuff, I can't even keep it in order. And now, my case is, I've already won my case against my ex. They handed it to me on a silver platter. And now, how am I gonna, my fight is against the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and our legal system. And they're using my ex as a pawn. And they think that I'm going to attack her, but I'm not. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm still going to attack the Commonwealth. I'm not going after my ex. I understand why she said what she said, and I'm not going to justify it or try to get into that. Like, once I tell my story, it makes way more sense than anything the Commonwealth has had her write down so far. So, if anybody hears this and can help me and has seen my other videos, please let me know. Thank you.